Good day, Squires. Hope you're all well and welcome to the unboxing video. I wasn't planning on doing any unboxings really for the channel, but considering this is Battletech, I thought it'd be the ideal candidate. And I've recently got into this myself, so I thought it'd be quite useful for anyone that's new to Battletech in general or looking to get into the tabletop. I thought I'd cover a few of the box sets that the company Catalyst actually offers. So Catalyst Games Labs are the company that makes all the tabletop miniatures, and they've sort of taken over the tabletop as far as I'm aware. I may be wrong on that. Don't quote me. I don't really know the history of it, but I think recently they've done, in the last few years at least, they've sort of tried to revitalize the tabletop. And yeah, like I said, I've recently got into it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's actually unlike a lot of other tabletop games out there. There's a big one which I'm not sure I'm meant to mention the name of, so I'm not going to, but I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Is actually rather expensive, so I am not into that hobby anymore, if I'm totally honest, and I've moved over to Battletech because it's just so much cheaper and the game just runs smoother, the rules are better, and it's just much more interesting personally. So yeah, this is the first box set, guys. This is the beginner box. They actually do two starter sets. Essentially, there is the beginner box, which is this one, and they've also got the Game of Arm and Combat box, which is also technically a beginner box. This is just a quick start. Like I said, it's a rather quick start, and it's a cheap box. So before you sort of get into the hobby, I suppose, it's kind of like a little taster to see if you enjoy it. This is, I think, at the moment it's going for £17, but I think if I turn it over, where it's got all the contents, yeah, there we go. So in dollars it's $19.99. I think that's actually come down. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's actually come down, that price now, because I'm pretty sure this is one of the earlier boxes, and I think, as far as I'm aware, it's come down, but again, I'm not entirely sure. But you know, if anyone's looking to get into it or get this box set, then obviously you'll know what you're paying. So yeah, so on the back it just basically gives you a quick little brief of what's actually inside, but to be honest with you, it's much more interesting if we just open the thing. So let's get to doing that. This box is going to be an absolute pain because I've seen so many people try and open this and it just does not give. And that artwork, can we just talk about that artwork for a second? That is absolutely beautiful. All the box sets that I've seen, they've got the Clan Invasion, the Game of Arm and Combat, they all come with absolutely gorgeous artwork on the front, in my opinion. And I think that's another thing that sort of sets this apart from other tabletop games. If I went into a shop, you know, like a miniature shop, and I was not into tabletop, and I thought, oh, you know, I'll try and find my first tabletop game, and I want to get into something like that. If I saw this on the shelf, this would grab me straight away. I mean, just look at that. A lot of tabletops do not have artwork like this. They have, on the front of the box, they have a picture of what's inside. Now, don't get me wrong, I like that. But, you know, this has got artwork on the front and then the actual contents on the back. And this just grabs you. And it just looks so nice. I think I might actually have to get a poster of this. Because it just looks absolutely gorgeous. And that is the Griffin 1N on the front there. I don't think there's any other mechs on the front. I don't see any other mechs on the front. I see there's an arm. There's an arm with some sort of mech there, but I don't know what mech that is. I mean, I assume, if I get this out of the way, I assume it would probably be a Wolverine, because you actually get a Wolverine in this box. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So the contents in this is, you've got little sort of mini novels. These are like mini stories. I've not actually read through this. But yeah, you've got sort of a little introduction to the franchise, I guess you could say, with little mini stories, which I will probably actually read through at some point. I've only recently opened this box. Obviously do this sort of unboxing video, hence why these haven't even been painted yet, and they're still, everything's still packaged. So anyway, so you get a little novel. Like I said, you've got a bunch of different stories in there. I don't know how many are in there. I think there's 3. I might be wrong on that, but again, that's the kind of thing you can find out if you do get the box set. I mean, even if it's only 2, I'm pretty sure there's at least 2. Let's have a little look. I don't know, it doesn't seem to say. don't know, maybe it says 1. Could just be 1. Sorry, I think that might only be 1 actually on that. Yeah, 'cause it doesn't actually, it just says... Yeah, I'm going to assume that's just 1 actually in there. Like I said, I haven't read it, so I'm going to assume there's 1 actually in there. Right, so that is the first thing. Second thing, you've got your little stat cards. Excuse me. These are actually for if you're playing, I suppose, the rules that are in this box. Now, what I mean by that, guys, is there's actually sort of 2 different versions of the game, essentially. You've got the... I'll tell you what, hold that thought, guys. We'll come back to that in just a second. I don't want to complicate things. Let's get all the contents out. So you've got the little stat cards with some awesome artwork on the back, which we'll come back to in just a second. You've got some... Oh, damn, that's really in there. There we go. You've got some pilot cards. I'm going to be honest, these aren't really all that useful, but they're sort of there for flavour, I suppose you could say, when you're playing the tabletop. But you can just make up your own pilots. So... yeah, I mean, they're not really all that useful. They're just sort of there, and it gives you some sort of special ability. You know, you get little special abilities for each pilot, as you can see there. A little bit of a fluff, you know, on there. Gives you their name, their affiliation, the battle mech they're supposed to pilot, all that jazz. But all this kind of stuff, these pilot special abilities, you can buy for unnamed pilots in the game anyway, so you can basically make your own versions of these cards in a sense. They're just here for, I suppose, like I said, a little bit of fluff and simplicity, I guess. Anyways, so you get those. You get some dice, 2 little dice. That's really all you need. If you have more dice, know when you're playing the tabletop, it will go a lot quicker. But really, you only need 2 dice. In fact, you can play the game with 1 dice, really, but it would be really, really slow. They are absolute units of dice. They're not like the little tiny ones you would get in, like, I suppose, like Warhammer boxes. But, yeah, they are absolute units. Okay, moving on. So you've got, obviously, the 2 plastic figures, which, like I said, we'll come back to in just a minute. Just put them there on the side. You've got underneath... the quick start rules, like I said. So you've got the basic rules here. There's not really much to it. It just sort of gives you the very, very bare minimum rules. And that's really it. There's only a couple of pages. And believe me, you know, there's a lot more rules and a lot more stuff if you really want to get into it. This is just the basics. I think it even mentions it here. Does it mention it here? So there's the bigger box set that I was talking about, the Game of Armored Combat, right there, and it doesn't actually mention it, but there is a game mode, or I suppose another version of the game, which is the one that I play, called Alpha Strike. And the reason I like that one is the games are quicker, they're simpler, and it's kind of designed for bigger, larger scale games. Not that you can't play large scale games with these rules. I just prefer Alpha Strike because it's just a lot more simpler, and I don't know, it just seems to make the game flow better personally. But again, everyone has their preference. So if you really want to go into all the detail and really, really pick apart things, and then this, you know, the normal version of the game is probably for you. So there's that. Moving on to the next thing. Again, you've got another sort of fluff kind of thing. It's like a little guide to the inner sphere. That is, I suppose you could say, the main... I wasn't going to say faction, but they're not really a faction. They're kind of split up into different houses, and it kind of explains it all in here. But they are, I suppose, there's sort of 2 main factions, I would say, and one is the inner sphere, and the others are clans. But we won't go too into detail in that. But that sort of gives you a little bit more information. It gives you details about all the different houses. You've got House Marek, you've got Davion, you've got the Draconis Combine, you've got Steiner, and you've got the Compelling Federation. It even goes into information about Comstar, which I wasn't expecting that. That's centered on Terra, which is Earth. That's basically where we are now. So that's, yeah, that's a bit of extra information now. I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. But yeah, there you go. You've got a little bit of fluff on that. Gives you details on the back about the battle mechs, what they are, and about mech warriors. Which, really, all you need to know about mech warriors is they're kind of like space knights, I suppose. That's kind of what they are. You get a little Iron Wind Metals sheet. It's just kind of advertising the other metal figures, I guess, that are on that are, well, something you can do to fluff up your God, I'm losing the words here. So these are basically, this is another company that sells miniatures basically, so you can go to them and, you know, get other figures from them, which if, you know, Catalyst Games don't have, you'll probably find on Iron Winds. Personally, I prefer the Catalyst Games miniatures. I'm not really a big fan of the Iron Winds ones because they have the old style mechs. Like the old mechs are, it's kind of like the old retro style for the miniatures, and they don't look as nice. They look very dated in my opinion, which is a bit of a shame. But I suppose if you're into that kind of stuff, then there is obviously that. Anyway, moving on to the next bit, you've got Popouts. These are really if you just want to, you know, fluff up the game even further. I wasn't actually expecting to have all of this, because what you've actually got here, guys, so these are pop-outs, so you can stand them up and you can use them as stand-ins for your models. So if you want to do bigger games, you can without buying the bigger box set, the Game of Armored Combat. But what I wasn't expecting here is they've actually given you the mechs that you would get in the bigger box set. And I wasn't really expecting that. I suppose obviously they're only card, so personally, if you are enjoying the game, if you do like the game, or you think you're going to enjoy it, I would say fork out a little bit more and get the bigger box set, because they come with more miniatures, the actual plastic figures. But no, you actually get the full set here of what you would actually get in the Game of Armored Combat. So you've got a Griffin, you've got a one-end Griffin, you've got the Locust, you've got Wolverine 6R. I don't know what Locust variant that is. That's the basic one, whichever one that is. You have, I think that is a Thunderbolt. I believe, yeah, it's got to be a Thunderbolt. So that is a Thunderbolt. You got another Griffin, another Locust. Oh, okay, so sorry guys, no, you don't have all the mechs here, because there is a few mechs that I'm missing. Basically what you've got here is, I think you've got a mix of Steiner and House Kurita mechs. Because you've got these ones here that are red, and these ones here that are blue, so I think that's Steiner and Kurita. But yeah, you've got two Wolverines, if you want to use them. Sorry, Griffins. Two Locusts, two Wolverines, and two Thunderbolts. These are all pop-out bits for terrain. We'll cover those in just a second. Basically, they go on this, because you have, like, pop-out maps. And on these maps, that's basically how you play the normal tabletop version, and these are just sort of like bits of cover. So you've got like heavy cover, light cover, all that kind of jazz. So that's what that is. Oh, I didn't actually... Oh, I'm popping out the things already. I didn't actually realise they have the backs on them. Okay. Interesting. I thought it was just the front, and then the back was blank, but obviously not. Anyway, there's that. And then, obviously, lastly, as I was saying, you have the maps that you play on. I'm not really a big fan of these. I think this is another reason why I don't like the normal tabletop version, because I don't really like playing on these kind of like paper maps. I suppose you could play, if you really wanted to, you could build a board, but really I like just being able to put scenery where I want to and playing it on a tabletop, and Alpha Strike does not use this, which is kind of the reason why I like it. But yeah, there's your kind of, yeah, I can't really get it all on the camera, but you've got a desert one on the other side. You've got sort of like a field, I suppose, like a field slash woods kind of area. But yeah, that's what you get for the starter in the beginner set. That's all you get. You can buy these as separate packets. They actually just do like packets of playing maps. But again, like I said, I see no need for them if you're playing Alpha Strike, and Alpha Strike is, in my opinion, the best version of it. So anyway, that's all that's in there. Like I said, you've got the little stat cards here. So I don't really know what you're going to get in this. I assume you're going to get stat cards for even the pop-out ones. So let's have a little look. If I can get it open. I really don't want people getting into this. And also, guys, I apologise for this being on my computer desk, because I don't really actually have anything else to do it on at the moment. There's not really any room to do it, and here I've got all my lights, so it's convenient. So you've got a nice Another nice piece of artwork. Another gorgeous bit of artwork there. That is a Thunderbolt being wrecked by what looks to be a Wolverine there in the background. The only thing is, if that's a Wolverine 6R, as some of you might already have noticed, he's firing a PPC. So that's not right. He should have an autocannon. So obviously that's not a Wolverine 6R. So anyway, yeah, you've got the stat cards. So this just goes into detail about like the weapons they have, the armor it has, etc., etc. Like I said, I don't play this version of it, so this is all useless to me. You won't need it if you're playing the Alpha Strike version. But yeah, this gives you like an idea of what kind of weapons they've got. This is all their armor, and as you take damage, you would color these little dots in, and that would determine how much damage each piece in the mech has taken, kind of like if you was playing MechWarrior Online, or any other Battletech game, I suppose. So that's the damage transfer sheet. Like I said, with that nice bit of artwork on the back. Looks like some of them, on the back, you have a little bit of fluff about the mechs. So this is about the Thunderbolt, the 5S, this one. So it gives you the capabilities, when it was deployed, the armament, all that kind of jazz. Oh, it even gives you a bit of information about variants. Okay, fair dues. So that's that, and that's the Thunderbolt. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that artwork. Oh, I don't want to go too far that way. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely beautiful. That is a Wolverine. A proper Wolverine. Wolverine 6R with his autocannon. That is nice. And that is definitely Draconis Combine, because you can even see it. So if you guys can see it there. It's got the Draconis Combine logo on it. That is beautiful. I might have to get a poster of that. Do you know what? These are making me want to get posters of these, because these are just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, you got the Wolverine 6R. And what was that one? That one we just got was... Oh, it's the actual data sheet for the Wolverine 6R. So there's the Wolverine 6R. This is the fluff about the Wolverine 6R. And then you've got another Wolverine 6R. That's weird. Oh yeah, of course, because you got the Davion one, and then you got the Kurita one. Is that Davion? No, not Davion. Steiner. Is it Steiner? Doesn't seem to say. Doesn't have any logo on that from the looks of it, as far as I can see. Not entirely sure. I don't see any logo on that. Okay, well, there you go. There's another one. Another bit of beautiful artwork. That is House Steiner, as you can tell from the little fist on the top there. I really like this about Battletech. I like the way it's all kind of... They've got these like royal families, and then the sort of mech warriors are almost like the knights, I suppose, or the lords of the of those houses. And in a way, it's kind of it's pretty cool. It's got that sort of like feudal kind of vibe to it, but in a sci-fi kind of version. Ah, there you go. There's a House Steiner. Yeah, there is Steiner, and there you go. Because I don't know if you guys can see that. Right there, there is a fist. There is a fist on that, and that is House Steiner. So yeah, it is. It's House Steiner versus Kurita. You've got which one was that one? That was the Griffin. Oh, it's the 1S. That is the 1S Griffin. Okay, fair enough. And you got the dreaded 1N Griffin, and I say dreaded because it's awful in MechWarrior Online and really needs a buff. But in the tabletop, you don't really need to worry too much about that. And then on the back, you've got a bit of fluff about the 1N. So there's that. And then you've got the Locust stat sheet. That is the 1E. I'm assuming that is the 1V. I think the 1V is the basic one. Let's have a little look at the weapons. 2 machine guns and 1 medium laser, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the basic one. The 1V is the basic Locust. 2 machine guns and 1 laser. Again, you've got your damage sheet. A bit of fluff again on the back. Deployment, weapons, etc. The mass, all that. There you go. You've got the Davion. Sorry, not Davion. I keep saying Davion. Steiner and Kurita versions. You've even got like a little space battle on the back of that one. That's their ships, I guess you could say, in the Battletech universe. The one thing I will say is I do not like the ships in the Battletech universe. They look absolutely ugly. But hey ho, the mechs are sick, so that's all that really matters. Anyway, that's the the record sheets. And I think, for reference, guys, but again, don't quote me on this, because I don't want to hear people have bought this and then ruin their cards. I think these are dry wipe So I think if you've got like a pen or whatever, not a pen, like a highlighter or something, you can draw on this and then wipe it off. I think these are dry wipes, but I'm not entirely sure on that, so don't quote me on it. What you could do is you could just copy this, or if you're playing the Alpha Strike version of the game, bear with me 2 seconds. Where's it gone? There we go. So, if you're playing the Alpha Strike version of the game, they will have miniaturized cards of these. So this will basically be miniaturized if you get the Alpha Strike, or sorry, the Catalyst boxes. And you can get like the little Alpha Strike cards like this. And really what I would suggest to do, guys, if you're going to use the cards, you don't have to. You can just write it all down on paper if you want to. But if you can use the Alpha Strike cards, they are dry wipe. But what I would suggest to do is, because of their size, you can actually just get little sleeves, little card sleeves, put them in the sleeves, and then use the sleeves. So that way, if you can't get it off the sleeve, you can just replace it with another sleeve. You can get like little, you know, your normal sort of trading card game sleeves, like, you know, the Yu-Gi-Oh sleeves or something like that. You know, Magic the Gathering, whatever you want to use. So let's have a little look at those cards actually, since I've got them up. On the cards we've got, again, if I can get into it. Oh, just 4 cards. Okay, I thought there was a bit more then. But yeah, again, you've got the same sort of thing. You've got the Thunderbolt one. I guess you've got the House. You've got House Liao and House Davion on there. Okay, it says affiliation. Sorry guys, I know it's quite far away. House Davion there, and you've got House Liao. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was all going to be Steiner and Garita, and it's not. Again, you know, you've got alternate pilots on either side, so you can use whichever ones you want. You got your normal dice. Wonder how weighted they are. Let's have a little look. Are they heavy or hollow or what? They're pretty light actually. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting them to be a bit heavier, but yeah, nice dice nonetheless. Get you started. If you wanted more, you can always get more. But now here comes the main event, right? The one you've all been waiting for. The models. Wonder if I can quickly get a little zoom in on that. You can, but it's losing quality, so I'm going to leave it. Oh, there we go, like that. Nope. Sorry, guys. I should really just have like an assistant to do this for me, this kind of stuff. But yeah, there you go. There's the miniatures. So you've got a 1N, a Griffin, which I really like. I really like the model for this. It looks so nice. The mold and everything, it looks really, really, really nice. So you've got the 1N Griffin. And you've also got the Wolverine that comes in this box. So you've got the 6R Wolverine. Again, very nice model. I really like the autocannon on this as well. The autocannon is really, really, really nice. And by the way, guys, sorry if it seems like I'm looking away from the camera a lot. It's because I'm trying to make sure that this camera is pointing towards the things that I'm holding, because it's quite far away, and I just want to make sure it's, you know, I'm not doing that and going, oh, look at the model, look at, oh, it looks so nice, oh yes, and then you can't see it. So yeah, so there's the Wolverine. The only thing I will say about the Wolverine is they've done a little thing wrong on this, and I don't know if they're aware of it, but they've got, so the Wolverine should have a small laser on its head, and the laser is not on the head, as far as I can tell. No, it's not. The laser, if you guys can see, is actually there underneath my finger. It's on the left side on the torso. There's a little laser right there to the side of the cockpit, and it should be on the head. So it's a little bit out of place. As far as I'm aware, it's supposed to be on the head anyway. I mean, I know MechWarrior Online, I know it is on MechWarrior Online, but MechWarrior Online does things differently, for anyone that's not aware. There's a few weapons which they actually change the position in. Like, there's also rear-firing weapons in Battletech, and a lot of the mechs actually do have rear-firing weapons, but they've replaced them. And when I mean replaced them, I mean they've changed the positioning of them, and they've put them on the front rather than on the back. So yeah, there's that, guys. I think really that's everything. Then you've got your models, got your dice, got your data sheets, your pilot rules, obviously your quick start set. Yeah, that's everything in the beginner set. So that's the beginner set, guys. Like I said, if you're looking to get into Battletech the tabletop, what I would probably do, if I knew this in advance, I would have done it myself. Get the beginner set, the one that I've just got, or even the armored combat one. If you really enjoy Battletech, and if you like tabletop games, kind of like Warhammer, I suppose, then get the Game of Armored Combat set rather than the beginner set, and then get on top of that the Alpha Strike rules. I mean, you can get them online, you can download them as PDF, or you can get the physical copy, but Alpha Strike I would highly recommend over the normal version of the game. It's just quicker, you can get the games in faster, and then that way you can have more than one game sort of thing in the same sort of space of time. On top of that, what I will say is the main tabletop version of the game tends to be a lot of hiding, and the games can go on for ages, and there's so much calculating. And as much as I don't mind that in most things, there's a lot of calculating going on in the standard tabletop. So when it comes to the quick start guide, what I would do, guys, is I would personally ignore this. I would ignore this completely and get the Alpha Strike rules instead. But again, if you're looking to get into the main version of the game, begin with this and then see if you like it or not. My phone's just gone off there, sorry guys. But that's it really. That's the entire contents of the beginner set. So I don't know, guys, just let me know what you think. Let me know if you do get into the hobby and you do start off with this, and you know, let me know how it all goes. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment, you know, on how the video went, I suppose, and let me know if there's anything I can do to improve it in the future. And subscribe as well, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.